Imagine walking into a small computer repair shop with one simple problem: your laptop suddenly won't turn on. For the customer, it feels like a disaster. The customer explains the problem while the technician begins asking questions. What looks like a simple broken computer could actually have dozens of different causes. The technician opens the laptop and carefully examines its internal components. This is where technical knowledge becomes more valuable than simply owning a toolbox. Instead of guessing, the technician uses diagnostic equipment to identify the real problem. A few minutes of expertise can save a customer hours of frustration. Once the repair is finished, the customer gets a working computer back. But here's the interesting part: how much of that payment actually becomes profit? A repair shop makes money from much more than fixing computers. Labor, parts, upgrades, data recovery, technical support, and customer trust all play a role. From the outside, it may look like a tiny neighborhood store. Behind the counter, however, there's a surprisingly complex business model operating every day. And this business has to compete with online retailers, huge electronics stores, and millions of free repair tutorials. So why do customers still pay local technicians? Let's start with the biggest question: what does it actually cost to open a computer repair shop? The answer begins with the physical location. Before the first customer arrives, the owner has to spend money on rent, tools, furniture, equipment, insurance, software, inventory, and marketing. The shop needs a physical space where customers can drop off their computers and technicians can safely perform repairs. Rent becomes one of the shop's fixed monthly expenses. Even if the shop has a slow week, the rent still has to be paid. Then the empty space has to become a professional workshop with workbenches, lighting, storage, computers, security, and everything technicians need. The tools themselves can add up quickly. Precision screwdrivers, multimeters, soldering equipment, diagnostic devices, and specialized tools are all part of the investment. A professional technician also needs equipment that protects both the worker and the computer. Even a tiny mistake can turn an easy repair into an expensive problem. Then comes inventory. SSDs, RAM, batteries, screens, keyboards, chargers, cables, fans, and countless other parts may be sitting on those shelves. But inventory creates a hidden risk. Every dollar spent on parts is money that can't be used somewhere else until those parts are sold. Think of inventory as cash that has been converted into physical products. The owner has to turn those products back into cash as quickly as possible. And technology changes fast. A part that sells easily today may become difficult to sell after a new generation of computers arrives. That's why smart inventory management matters. The shop wants enough parts to complete repairs quickly, but not so many that money gets trapped on the shelves. Now we reach the most valuable asset in the business: the technician's knowledge. Two people can look at the same broken computer and see completely different problems. An experienced technician might identify a problem in 10 minutes that an inexperienced person could spend hours trying to understand. So customers aren't really paying only for time. They're paying for the ability to diagnose the problem and fix it correctly. That's why repair shops often separate their prices into diagnosis, labor, and parts. Each part of the service has economic value. Sometimes customers are surprised by the final price because the physical replacement part looks inexpensive. But the part is only one piece of the service. The final price also has to cover technician wages, rent, tools, insurance, software, taxes, payment fees, and the risk that something goes wrong. Take a charging port repair as an example. The replacement component might be inexpensive, but safely installing it can require significant skill and precision. Once the repair is complete, the customer pays for a working solution. They're not simply buying a tiny electronic component. This is why comparing the cost of a part online with the price of professional repair can be misleading. You're comparing a product with a service. It's similar to a restaurant. The ingredients might be cheap, but customers are paying for preparation, equipment, employees, location, convenience, and the finished experience. Now consider something even more valuable: data recovery. A customer may walk in carrying a hard drive that contains years of important information. Family photos, work documents, financial records, and personal memories can be worth far more to the customer than the computer itself. Recovering that information can require specialized equipment and careful technical work. That's why advanced data recovery can command premium prices. The customer isn't just waiting for a computer to be fixed. They're waiting to find out whether something personally valuable can be saved. When the files are successfully recovered, the customer gets something much more important than hardware: peace of mind. But handling customer data creates another responsibility. A repair shop must treat personal information with extreme care. When customers hand over their computers, they may also be handing over access to photos, documents, emails, and sensitive business information. That's why trust becomes an economic asset. A customer may willingly pay more to a shop they believe will protect their device and information. And satisfied customers can become a powerful marketing engine. One customer recommends the shop to a friend who recommends it to someone else. Over time, a strong reputation can bring in customers without the shop having to spend heavily on advertising. Trust can reduce customer acquisition costs. Another common service is computer cleanup. A slow computer may not need a new processor or motherboard at all. Sometimes the problem is cluttered storage, unnecessary software, outdated programs, or too many applications running in the background. Technicians can also scan for malware and security problems. For customers who aren't technically confident, that expertise can be extremely valuable. The result is simple. A frustrated customer brings in a slow computer and leaves with a machine that feels faster and more reliable. Now let's talk about a number that many people misunderstand: revenue. A shop can generate impressive sales and still make surprisingly little profit. Every dollar coming into the business has somewhere else to go. Wages, rent, parts, utilities, insurance, taxes, and other expenses all reduce the final amount. So a shop doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual sales doesn't mean the owner is taking home hundreds of thousands of dollars. Upgrades can improve the economics. Installing an SSD or adding RAM can make an older computer feel dramatically faster. For the customer, upgrading an existing computer can be cheaper than buying a brand new machine. For the shop, it creates another profitable service. This creates a win-win situation. The customer extends the life of an existing device, while the repair shop earns money from both parts and labor. Custom-built computers create another opportunity. Customers may know what they want to use a computer for, but not which components to choose. The technician can select compatible components and assemble everything into a working system. The customer is paying for expertise and convenience. For a gaming PC, the shop may need to balance performance, budget, cooling, power consumption, and future upgrade options. Once the computer is assembled, technicians can test the system before the customer takes it home. That testing adds another layer of value. This is another reason services can compete with online shopping. Customers aren't just buying components. They're buying a complete solution. Now imagine the repair shop starts working with small businesses. Instead of waiting for individual customers, it can provide technology support to entire companies. A local business may need help with computers, networks, software, backups, security, printers, and employee devices. The repair shop can turn that support into a monthly service agreement. Suddenly, the business has predictable recurring revenue. Recurring revenue is extremely valuable because the shop doesn't have to find a completely new customer every single month. Compare that with one-time repairs. A single repair creates one payment, while a business contract can create reliable revenue month after month. Of course, customers can always try to repair computers themselves. Online tutorials have made basic troubleshooting easier than ever, but DIY repairs carry risk. One wrong connection, damaged component, or mistake during disassembly can turn a simple repair into a much bigger expense. That's where professional repair creates value. Customers are often paying to save time. reduce risk, and avoid the frustration of figuring everything out themselves. And the more delicate the repair, the more important that expertise becomes. Working on a motherboard isn't the same as replacing a cable. There is also warranty risk. If something fails after a repair, the shop may have to spend additional time fixing the problem without charging again. Those unexpected warranty jobs are part of the cost of doing business. Professional pricing has to account for repairs that don't go perfectly. Now imagine two repair shops competing for the same customers. One focuses entirely on being cheap, while the other focuses on reliability. The cheaper shop may win some customers, but many people are willing to pay more when they believe their expensive computer is in safer hands. Location also matters. A shop near homes, offices, schools, colleges, or other businesses can naturally attract more potential customers. But today, physical location isn't everything. A customer can pull out a phone and search for a computer repair shop nearby in seconds. That makes online reputation incredibly important. Good reviews and word of mouth can become one of the shop's most valuable marketing assets. Another opportunity is refurbished computers. A shop can buy used machines, inspect them, repair them, upgrade them, and prepare them for resale. The process turns an older computer into a product that may still be useful to someone who doesn't need the latest technology. The refurbished machine can then be sold at a price below a new computer, while the shop earns money from the restoration and resale process. But the real opportunity may be the customer relationship. A person who visits once for a repair could return again and again over several years. That single customer might eventually buy repairs, upgrades, accessories, data recovery, maintenance, or even recommend the shop to a business. As the customer base grows, the owner may hire more technicians. Now the business can handle more repairs without the owner personally doing every job. The owner's role changes too. Instead of only fixing computers, they manage employees, inventory, customers, suppliers, finances, and business relationships. The future repair shop could offer far more than basic repairs, data recovery, cybersecurity, custom PCs, refurbished devices, and ongoing technology support. And that's the real economics of the business. A computer repair shop isn't simply selling repairs. It's selling expertise, convenience, trust, and solutions to problems people can't solve alone.